This is the LEGO Star Wars Summer 2022 BD-1 Buildable Character. Given set number 75335 with 1,062 pieces, it retails $400 in the United States. This is a set that came as a surprise to many because it is based off Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a sub-theme of LEGO Star Wars that designers essentially said a few years back they wouldn't make sets based off because it was too violent. So very much a surprise to get this, and hopefully a set like this can lead into a set like the Mantis from Fallen Order. But it was given ages 14 and up, which usually I don't talk about, but for something that designers said was going to be too violent for them to make sets off, I just kind of assumed if they ever made something it'd be in the 18 plus range, but 14 and up, that's just what they have marked on it. The back of the box just shows you a different angle of BD-1, gives you the dimensions of the model, as well as a couple key functions, and the collector's plaque with the BD-1 minifigure included. I hope you enjoy bad 3D renders. We've got 6 total bags to build the set. And would you look at that, it's that time of my review where I tell you you can watch all the other reviews on my channel. This is the BD-1 quote-unquote minifigure. It's basically the same thing that we saw in the Mando's N1 Starfighter, except this one, of course, is in red to match the buildable character that you purchased, and it looks really good. It's got a little stud opening on the bottom so that it can actually attach to parts like it is now on the stand, and the rest of the stand, of course, is the collector display plaque with pertinent information such as manufacturer, model, height, primary function, and equipment, and it's got the BD-1 kind of blue silhouette thing with a couple circles. It looks really good and is going to go nicely on display. The BD-1 itself is a really solid look, and I think it's generally going to please a lot of collectors that are into Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and perhaps bring some new fans to the LEGO Star Wars world because it's of a subcategory they just haven't touched yet. But we'll start with the base of the character here with the feet, and they're very wide. They are just enough to make sure it's not too wobbly on there, like it's not going to fall over if you accidentally knock into it very easily, which is definitely a good thing. You want it to be sturdy, and it's definitely sturdy. It does have these nice attachments at the back too, which help add a lot of stability to it. Obviously, without those, you'd be in a world of hurt. On the inside of each leg is a lot of Technic. It's all exposed. You can see some of the exposed wiring as well, which does add a nice bit of detail to the character. And then on the outside of each leg, it's very beautifully tiled off with just a couple of studs showing in select places. Really love the round area here. And in case you were wondering, neither of these joints are posable. It is in a fixed position on these lower 2 joints. But the posability that does exist on this set can be found in the midsection where the legs are out just a little bit now. You can bring them in to be even and flat with the body if you want, or you can go really weird with it and like push them really far in and do some weird funky things. You can also use these leg joints to move the legs forward and backwards, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend this because it's not super balanced anymore when you do that. And what I've noticed is if I move it forward, that this back piece just ends up breaking off anyway. So while it is a way you can turn the legs, it doesn't make sense to do it. The back of the body has a solid amount of detail, making good use of that grill piece. A little bit of red there, and if you didn't notice already, the siding of the body is just completely flat white except for the area where the legs pop through. And then on the front we got more grill pieces, looks like an ingot piece, and a little bit more red. This is also ideally where you want to pick the model up, so you can grab it from underneath like this, gonna be good to go, or you can grab it from the back like so. That's kind of the 2 best ways to pick it up. I would not recommend picking it up by the legs or the head. Speaking of BD-1's head, I think they really nailed the look here. They've got a mix of studded and tiled, and that's pretty classic for most LEGO sets at this point. And you can see the side is more tiled off than maybe you would even expect. Really like that mix of light gray, dark gray, white, and red. Just a really good color scheme. And then you have the antennas at the back, which are built on strongly enough where they're just not going to snap off on you, which has been a problem on certain sets in years past, notably some like Clone Wars era sets that you might know of, namely the 2008 Republic Fighter Tank I had some problems with, but they have definitely kind of fixed that issue at this point. Then we kind of have this lit up area on the back of BD-1's head. Looks very beautiful. Of course, not actually lit up, but the lighter translucent colors with the white underneath definitely give off that effect. Now, while the antennas won't break off super easily, the whole things can actually spin around like this, 360 degrees. So if you wanted to give your BD-1 a bit of a different look, you can definitely do so by placing the antennas in different spots. On the left side of the head, we just have a little red light, and then looking to the front of BD-1's face, we got the projector, I believe, on the right, and then on the left, we have what I assume is just BD-1's main eye. It's got a really cool looking red ring around it, which adds a very nice splash of color to the front of the face. And then I also want to commend the shaping and how nicely everything comes together for the, I guess, hood around the projector and eye, and we have like these really nice connection parts. You can see if I pull it apart, you can see what's going on there. But if we put it back together, it kind of goes together really flushly and nicely. There is still a bit of a gap sometimes. It just depends on if you get lucky, because you can see on this side it looks really good. But overall, like a really solid look for the head. The head still has a couple things to show off. You stick your hand underneath it like so and pull out, you'll get the stim canisters. Those are a nice hidden addition to the build, although they can be a bit tough to like take out if you want to take them out. Yeah, you can see I'm gonna have some trouble here because it doesn't go out any further than this. So once you put them in there, they're probably staying in there. And honestly, the only real problem I have with this set is that when you're like moving the heads, you can move it right and left just to give them a bit of a different look. The stim canister holster really does fall out a lot of the time, and I find that really annoying. So you can see if I move it around, there it is. It's just gone. There's no way to like lock it in place. There's no little rubber piece there to give it a little bit of friction, so it only pulls out if you pull it out. Like, something extra I definitely think could have gone there. Now, ultimately for me as a collector who's going to put this on a shelf and not touch it, it doesn't matter. But for someone that's going to come in, play with it, maybe do things with it all the time, or if you're going to buy it for a kid as a toy, that might be a bit of a problem there. So I don't love that. But the last thing really to show off is that this hinge here actually can be used to raise the head up even higher. So you can make him look just all over the place using that. I guess now that I'm looking at it, the underside of BD1's head being so open for half of it and then kind of closed off on this weird corner, it doesn't look the greatest either. Essentially, the two issues I have with this set are completely null and void if you don't intend on playing with it, or if you don't intend on pointing his head way up high. Oh, he's so cool looking. This is a very good and unexpected LEGO Star Wars buildable figure for 2022. Getting BD-1 is awesome for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order fans, and I don't really see anyone else who would buy this necessarily, like, unless you played the game and liked it. I think there's better options out there for $100, like the Inquisitor Transport Scythe, but if you're into it, or if you just have this weird fascination with the character, I guess, if you still haven't played the game, like, it's not a bad set. You're not going to dislike it. It just obviously doesn't have too much a foothold elsewhere in Star Wars. Ultimately, for me, this is like a 9.5 out of 10. I didn't play the game a whole ton myself, but I can appreciate a good LEGO Star Wars set when I see one. If you're in a Jedi Fallen Order, I absolutely recommend picking this one up. I'll have affiliate links down in the description below, but if you don't have that attachment, I don't blame you for passing up on it, as it's a kind of niche character in a way. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and you can check out more 2022 LEGO Star Wars set reviews on the end screen now.